In this video I am telling you the amazing facts about North Korea that you may not know. North Korea is a country in East Asia. It occupies the northern portion of the Korean peninsula, which juts out from the Asian mainland between the East Sea, Sea of Japan, and the Yellow Sea. North Korea covers about 55% of the peninsula's land area. The country is bordered by China and Russia to the north and by the Republic of Korea, South Korea, to the south. The national capital, Pyongyang, is a major industrial and transport center near the west coast. North Korea faces South Korea across a demilitarized zone, DMZ, 2.5 miles, 4 kilometers, wide that was established by the terms of the 1953 armistice that ended fighting in the Korean War, 1950–53. The DMZ, which runs for about 150 miles, 240 kilometers, constitutes the 1953 military ceasefire line and roughly follows latitude 38 degrees north, the 38th parallel, from the mouth of the Han River on the west coast of the Korean peninsula to a little south of the North Korean town of Kaesong on the east coast. The founder of North Korea, First President Kim Il-sung, created the country's policy of juche or self-reliance, which has essentially cut off North Korea economically and diplomatically from the rest of the world even in times of great need such as famines. Kim Jong-il, son of the country's founder, has been said by state media to have managed amazing feats. He scored a perfect 300 the first time he went bowling and sank 11 holes in one the first time he played golf. The North Korean calendar is based on its founder's date of birth. There are weird rules and systems in the country which believe the deceased founder Kim Il-sung still rules the regime in spirit form. It may be the 21st century for the rest of the world, but for people in North Korea, it's still the 106th juche year. The North Korean juche calendar begins on April 15, 1912, the date of birth of its founder Kim Il-sung. North Korea is a land of mountains and hills separated by deep, narrow valleys. Paektusan, or Whitehead Mountain in the Korean language, is the country's tallest mountain, reaching 9,003 feet, 2,744 meters. It sprouts off the volcanic Paektu Mountain, which sits near the country's border with China. The Yalu River is the longest river in North Korea, stretching 491 miles, 790 kilometers. It begins on Paektusan and flows southwest to the Yellow Sea. The Tumen River also begins on Paektusan. It flows east into the Sea of Japan. People in North Korea are convinced that there is only one Korea. One of the most interesting North Korean facts in this list is that North Koreans believe that their country is a single country. Yes, they removed South Korea from the picture. If you will take a map of the world, you will see both South Korea and North Korea. North Koreans have a different belief in that. All the maps in schools show a united country with Pyongyang as the capital. Despite both countries looking towards unification, it is not without reasons that both countries are in such a status currently. Between 150,000 and 200,000 North Koreans live in prison camps surrounded by electrified fencing, according to South Korean government estimates and Human Rights Watch. The worst camps are for those who commit political crimes, and offenders can have their entire extended family imprisoned with them. As many as 40% of camp prisoners die from malnutrition while doing mining. logging, and agricultural work with rudimentary tools in harsh conditions, according to a 2011 Amnesty International report. It has only 3 TV channels. All legal televisions are tuned to state-controlled domestic programming. The Internet does not exist other than a closed domestic network. Cellular 3G access is allowed to foreign visitors. Few North Koreans know anything about world events apart from how they are described by North Korean propaganda. With everything under scrutiny, it's quite obvious that the North Korean regime keeps its media on a tight leash. There are only 3 television channels to choose from, with all programs controlled by the government. North Korea's missile program was first developed with help from the then Soviet Union in the 1970s. Its Type A Dong-2 missile has an estimated range of more than 4,100 miles but has yet to be test-fired. Other medium-range missiles are capable of being fired over Japan. You might be held captive for being creative. It's one of the popular stories that dictator Kim Jong-il kidnapped a film director, Shin Sang-ok, and his wife, actor Choi Yoon-hee, in 1978 to inject creativity into North Korean films. Later in 1986, after being held against their will for almost a decade, the couple gradually earned the dictator's trust and escaped during a trip to Austria where they were promoting North Korean films. Foreign investment in North Korea reached $1.4 billion in 2010, according to the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. European and Chinese companies have opened casinos for tourists and invested in mines for copper, nickel, zinc, iron, and gold. Mineral reserves are estimated to be worth $6 trillion, says South Korean state mining company Korea Resources.